Jeremiah chapter 11. Now the reason I got the time charts out, again, we notice up here, Jeremiah started preaching in the middle of Josiah the king's. Josiah was the good king. Up here, like I said, down here in tiny print, right above the big red line, Jeremiah, he started his preaching according to this timeline. Now it depends on what timeline you happen to look at and who made the timeline. The times differ a little bit, okay? But he started in 627 BC, okay? And
Was that when he was born?
no, that probably would have been when he was a young man. Possibly. Now he might have been in his 30s. I think a lot of times in the Bible, the prophets and stuff like that don't start their ministries or don't start their jobs until they're 30. But don't know how old he was, but thereabouts, 30-ish or under. And he goes down. Okay, his line continues down here to the bottom, to about, let's see, well, it starts in this bottom line about 610 BC, okay, and ends about 575, somewhere around in there, yeah. Okay. He was contemporary with Daniel. He was contemporary with Ezekiel. He was contemporary with Nahum and Zephaniah and Habakkuk. Okay, so he was. So now, the reason I'm going through this is because the previous chapters that we've been studying, chapter, let's see, like chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10, according to my Bible and my timeline, they were preached. Jeremiah preached these about 600 BC. Okay, so you can find 600 down there on up here on the timeline, 600 right up here, BC, but chapter 11 was preached 8 years before, okay, 600. So actually, chapter 11 should have been placed, if you place them in the chronological order in the Bible. I think there's somebody has published the Bible with this stuff in chronological order, and it would have been preached before chapters 7, 8, 9, and 10. Chapter 6 was preached about 612 BC. So that would have been before, okay, chapter 11. So that's kind of I wanted to get that kind of background for you to figure out what was going on here. Why is he preaching this now, or he preached this before those previous chapters, and the previous chapters were talking about the destruction that was going to come from Nebuchadnezzar's army when they moved in. And Nebuchadnezzar and his army, started in, he actually he had the big Battle of Carchemish in 605. So this was preached before Nebuchadnezzar went through everything. His first invasion, he was on his way to Egypt. And this battle of Carchemish was where he defeated the Egyptian army in 605 BC. Okay? So this is before Nebuchadnezzar started out on his way. Are you following all that? It's kind of hard to follow, but that's kind of why I dig these things out once in a while to get the timeline figured out. So down here, chapter 11, okay, the little blurb at the beginning of the chapter, Jeremiah proclaims God's covenant. He rebukes the disobedient Jews, and he prophesies evils to come upon them. Now, previous chapters, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are, and he was doing exactly that. He was preaching about the evils and the destruction that was going to come on Israel when Nebuchadnezzar moved through. And, yeah. So, let's see. But anyway, he's, right there. It starts right in the middle of Josiah's term. And according to again, this timeline, if you look up here, the book of the law, remember, during Josiah's reign, Josiah was renovating, remodeling, flipping the temple, going in, remodeling it, and there's all these programs, flipping houses and stuff like that on TV, and zombie house flipping. There's one program called, it's on one of the the Home and Garden channel. It's called Zombie House Flipping. They there we go. Yeah. Call them up, get them to come up here and flip. Yeah.
They get past the dogs.
But he was getting the temple renovated and cleaned up because it had been neglected. Every once in a while in Washington D.C., they have to go through periodically and remodel everything. Here in town, Woods Hardware is closed while they're remodeling and renovating the Woods Hardware store, and they probably won't have any of the neat stuff that you can find in Woods Hardware, after umpteen years that store was in business. They probably won't have all of that stuff. They're probably, all the neat stuff that you really need, and there's, you can only find one of them. But anyway, so in 622, according to this timeline, the book of the law was discovered. So they were remodeling the temple, and some priest found probably in a dusty cubicle or something like that, a parchment with the book of the law, the first 5 books of the Bible. Okay, so that was 622. So now here we come again, back to chapter 11. Start the word. Remember, this is before. Okay, Nebuchadnezzar is starting, and God is wanting to warn Jerusalem and Judah about the pending coming, and he's giving the reasons here why it's going to happen. Okay? So the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, "Hear ye the words of this covenant." Now remember, God made a covenant, a contract, if you will, a binding contract. Okay? This is where you go to the bank and get a loan, you sign a contract, or you buy some property, you sign a contract, or any number of jobs that like a CEO of some new CEO would sign a contract with the company. It tells about, okay, here's your pay plan, here's your benefits, all of that sort of stuff. Okay, you're gonna lead this company, okay, and you're going to sign this contract, and you should abide by the terms of this contract. And how many cases have we seen? You see them in the news. Somebody comes up with some sort of scam, and you end up signing a contract, and all of a sudden you've lost all your money, or they've got scams about where they can go in and change the stuff on the title of your house. You've owned my house is free and clear. I've paid for it all, but somebody could go in and change the wording of that contract, the deed to my house, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Oh, I own your house now. Move out." That's one of the scams that's going around. They usually pick on us old guys. But that's what a covenant is. It's a binding contract. Hear ye the words of this contract covenant, and speak unto the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And say thou unto them, he's being specific here. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this contract. Okay? You disobey a contract, you do something with a contract, if you default on your end of the contract, and you're going to jail, or whatever. You're going to be cursed. Cursed be the man that, and God in the books of the law, God gave them the contract. Here's what you need to do. Okay, I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before thee. And thou shalt not make any graven images, and thou shalt not kill. All those, the 10 Commandments, the Big 10. That's a contract. Okay? And so you're there, and they are not obeying the contract. And God is pointing this out to them. Verse 4, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt from the iron furnace. Okay? The iron. Now this phrase here actually goes back. Okay, it's something now. When Josiah is going to have the book of the law read to the people. Okay, now this would have been after the book of the law was discovered. Okay, they would have been reminded of verses in the book of the law, and in Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 20. Says, but the Lord hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace. Okay? This is out of slavery in Egypt, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. Okay? So God took them out, and Jeremiah, God's going to reminding them here of what he did for them. Okay, brought them forth out of the land of Egypt from the iron furnace, saying, "Obey my voice, Now, what is, you know, we kind of try and get the idea in, you know, to kids. What's a sin? It's basically disobeying God. Okay? God says, you know, not listening to God, not obeying what God has to say. He said, you know, obey my voice and do them according to all which I command you, so shall ye be my people, and I will be your God. Okay? Hey, you know, even though, you know, there are, you know, the politically correct crowd these days that want the Ten Commandments taken down. Oh, you know, that's old, you know. Take down those Ten Commandments. You can't have those posted in your classroom at school. You can't have those posted in your courtroom, you know. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, you know, steal, false witness, all that stuff, okay? And, you know, what do you think these days? Oh, okay. Oh, if I take down that you know, plaque with the Ten Commandments on it from the courtroom, oh, okay, it's okay for me to kill somebody. It's okay for me to commit, you know, have you noticed the murder rate? Just, you're taking your chances going down to Yakima.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you know,
Store, movie, anywhere.
store, movie, anywhere, yeah, Walmart, anywhere down there, you're taking your chances going down to Yakima because, you know, somebody's out there, you know, you're just walking into Walmart or wherever, and all of a sudden, you're in the middle of two gangs shooting it out. So, oh, and, you know, you think that anything like that would be a result of taking down thou shalt not kill from public view? Oh, it's okay now. We can, you know, we can kill anybody we want. We can do whatever we want. Yeah, I better quit there. Okay. But, you know, God is making a promise. You obey my voice, so shall ye be my people, and I will be your God. Okay?